how are we going to attract young men and women to think, I want to stay in Connecticut? Because if they stay in Connecticut, they're going to do great things. They leave, we've lost a commodity, right?
You're absolutely right. I just read a report, although I think it was published several months ago in the Atlantic, and our population is decreasing. We're like the bottom four. There's only a couple, and you know that is wrong. I don't know if you're talking about the Commission on Fiscal Stability, but it was so funny. Oh my gosh, I think you plagiarized. I've been saying they're concerned about the state, and the state is in dire straits. Holy crap! I said it first.
You're saying it took 9 people to write your report?
They said the 14 brilliant minds. 15, but no, it is a concern, and I think a part of that is how you exhibit. We are not exhibiting, I think our state officials aren't even exhibiting that they think we have a problem. We're not exhibiting hope. It's just the state of our state. You know, some people had said, oh, why don't you run against an incumbent? Really?
Why not?
Incumbents.
Why not?
And as Secretary of the State, like, why be so aggravated? Your voice doesn't matter unless there's a choice. It's meaningless, and you need a choice. I think that we have to, you know, again, I told you, it seems like the level of service has gone up. With an RFP, you know, everybody would go out for an RFP if you're in a municipal setting, or most of us get a couple prizes when we go out to bid. You run for a very well-defined term. Anyone who's running should be able to tell you what they did to deserve the respect and the trust you put in them. Not getting aggravated because you're challenging them. What services have you provided? I have heard from registrars of voters said collectively as a group, they can't believe that there is such dissatisfaction. I mean, we need more. I don't think we're being responsible to our children. We're not being accountable, and we try to teach them to be accountable for their actions. I've always been accountable for my actions, and we have elected officials who find it arrogance if you challenge, and that's just absolutely silly. I actually testified on Friday, and it was regarding the governor's Act number 10 or whatever. And all it's doing is shuffling money from one special fund to another, and then just taxing everything else that either moves or doesn't. And it's just insane. It's not sustainable. Like, it's just common sense. And you know, it's like the emperor's new clothes. This is just crazy. And this is what we're doing to our kids. No wonder why they're leaving. It's like, you don't even know the house is on fire and nobody's getting the heck out. It's really silly. And I think we have to work together. I think that we could. I think that our government is looking pretty anemic. And we need some energy, and we need qualified people to work with the state. This is a beautiful state. They're looking to invest. Hartford sold like all its assets. There is nothing left that you could have any kind of relationship
Karen,
with
can
Hartford.
you talk a little about private and public sector opportunities?
Well, I use my own as an example. Our company invested $160 million to renovate all the service plazas in Connecticut, all private funds. We have a 35-year contract with the state of Connecticut. All the risk, the responsibility for repairs, upgrades are all borne by the private sector, and there's a constant revenue stream coming into the state. And I'm still with the company. The Carlyle Group sold it to this international company out of the UK. And I think there is so much. I'm sticking with it because I think they could be a partner for Connecticut. The opportunities to grow are just incredible. And as we grow, the state grows. It's one thing that they could take off. Those are opportunities that are all over. We looked at a building directly across from the Capitol. That building, we could pay the $250 million to renovate. Then you'd have a contract with the state. It wouldn't be bonding money. You could pay it off over 30 years. We could operate, I'm talking we, yeah. Those are the opportunities available. And you could have a contract that you know what your risk is. If an elevator isn't working, that's a deduct. If a temperature isn't maintained, that's a deduct. You are never going to have to think that your great arrangement will spike. If anything, it will go down. There are so many opportunities. Investors are looking at with the state at dollar signs, and we're just looking away. I kind of think our government is looking at our faces with dollar signs. And I'm looking at the citizens as people whose backs are being bowed from the weight of the taxation. And we cannot, the people walking around aren't the revenue source. That's another thing that killed me when I was testifying. It's a bill regarding revenue. Revenue. It's just a bill regarding taxes, and you're robbing every fund that we had for environmental and banking. Every special fund that people went in with the good faith that the government was protecting the environment, and it's all going into the general fund.